Hello everyone. Now the second part of this fifth unit is the part of the software maintenance and project management is the software configuration management. Software configuration management is directly related to the change management. If you want to change the things in your software, how will you manage it? The set of activities carried out for identify, organize, control changes throughout the life cycle of computer software is, you can say, software configuration management. During the development of software change, it must be managed or controlled because when you change a part of a software, it can affect the other parts or other function of the software. So you should know which part is affected, how will you control that part. And when you add, so for example, if you are adding something, with the adding something, you have to check the quality assurance also, because it may happen when you add new thing, new photos, the memory will be engaged and it may happen the performance will be degraded. So you have to check with the configuration management, with the change management, is the quality is improved or the quality is decreased. You should control all these things when you are changing anything in your software. To manage and control software configuration item, each should be separately named. If you want to manage the software, then you have to give the name of the object, each object which you want to change, or you can decompose your software in objects and you can say it configuration items. And for each item separately you name it and organize it. And if you are doing any change in that item, you observe and control that item with the other items. The baseline of according to the IEEE definition is that any specification or a product that formally reviewed, if आप किसी भी प्रोडक्ट को रिव्यू कर रहे हैं, agreed हैं उसके लिए सारी authorities, because you have hand over or deliver the software to the customer, and when you deliver to the customer, if you want to change anything, you have to do a process or you have to do some procedure, because जब हम कस्टमर को डिलीवर कर चुके हैं तो everything which is related to that software, the management, the developer, the vendors, all stakeholders to be controlled with this change, उन सबको ये पता होना चाहिए formally that the change is happening. So the SCM make a repository, configuration management make a repository of functions. The functions are data integrity, information sharing, tool integration, data integration, methodology enforcement, and documentation standardization. And for these functions, the tools which we are using are versioning, dependency tracking, if you want to track dependent, change management, required tracing, configuration management, and auditing. Which is written inside this repository is the functions, are the functions, and after outside this repository are the tools by which you can use these functions. Now first we will see the functions, that is data integrity. It means your data should be consistent. If you are changing your data anywhere, the all things which is related to that data should be changed. For example, in college management system, a student has changed his mobile number, his or her mobile number, which known by you only. Then you should change this mobile number to the management, to the registrar, to the fees office, to the account office, because integrity is very much required here. The consistency of data should be known as, you can say, the integrity. मतलब कहीं से भी वो नंबर उठाया जाए, दैट शुड बी कंसिस्टेंट, सेम होना चाहिए। इंफॉर्मेशन शेयरिंग, the information is required in the repository or in a one place, because if the things is in one place and you can use for all tools from that place, this is information sharing. Information is shared by the many tools, managers, and control from one place. It will be better. Now, tool integration. Tool should be integrated with the data. Which tool used for this data? The integration should happen. Data integration allow, बिकॉज यदि हमने किसी डेटा के साथ टूल को इंटीग्रेट नहीं किया है एंड इफ यू आर चेंजिंग द डेटा, तो टूल को कैसे पता चलेगा कि दिस डेटा हैज चेंज्ड, बिकॉज टूल ही उस डेटा को यूज करने वाला है. सो यू शुड integrate the tool with data. Data integration is also required. Data integration means all types of जो भी हमारे components items हमने बनाए हैं वो एक जगह इंटीग्रेट हो जाने चाहिए. Methodology should be very clear कि which type of model we are using, which type of relations we are using between the items or components. Document standardization means with the help of documentation anyone can understand कि which product or which item has which type of data, has which type of methodology, has which type of sharing, has which type of tools. So standardized documentation should be produced or should be distributed by the engineers if they are doing any change. This topic is totally related with the change management. If we are changing a version, now what is versioning? Means every time when you are changing the thing, the new version is created, which is different from the older version. Okay, now dependency tracking and change management. The track and respond the changes in the state relationship all objects. जहां जहां चेंज हुआ है एंड उस आइटम से जो भी रिलेट कर रहा है, द ट्रैक should be maintained. उस ट्रैक को देखते हुए all change management should be responded और उन्हें बताया जाता है. जैसे कि आप कोई भी वेबसाइट, when you open a website, if new things happen, तो आपने देखा होगा that is highlighted for what, then you can see that change. उसी तरह जितने भी data and tools dependent है for that change, it should be highlighted or tracked. Requirement tracing. Forward tracing means what should be required in what will be required in the future, and backward tracing means what is given by the product and what was required and it should be generated for the future. Configuration management means what is changed, jitna bhi manage hua hai, the track should be there, milestone should be there, production release ho raha hai, itne time mein ho raha hai, and it should be reflect to the all dependent component. Audit trail means documentation about, or you can say the information established about the change, when the change happened, why it happens, whom it happened, where the change are made in the repository. All the auditing is done for this change management. Now, what is the process of the change management for the configuration process? First, you identify the items or components. Divide them, the item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4, like this. Manage the changes. When you manage the change or you have done the change, then the version will be affected or generated by the change. Now you ensure that the change is doing, or you test that change and then provide information on change to all the components which is dependent on this change. With this, I am finishing this lecture for software configuration, or you can say the change management. It is totally related with the change management. Change is required for the updation and modification, and if change occurs, the versioning is created, then you trace it key how many components are affected with the stage. You inform that all things. With this, I am finishing this lecture, and we will see the tasks which are required for the change in next lecture. Thank you.